Hello, friends. Welcome back to Value Vintage Cards. This is going to be a little bit different one. So, I'm going to try and walk through the evolution of my YouTube card hobby time yesterday, or last day or two, maybe. Um, so, I've been doing kind of Jason model. Jason mentioned having a TV in his card room and maybe playing videos and getting less chance to comment and like. And I do that sometimes too at night rather than putting on a movie. I'll just put on a couple hours of videos that are either like saved or um, YouTube eventually just gets to know you and plays your people. So I'm going to try and walk through this in a somewhat logical way, but it might not work. We'll see what happens. What really kind of spurred my idea was I was watching. Geez, we had Mangini and Rick on, kind of doing the "Get Off My Lawn." I was watching a video by Sammy. I was watching a video by somewhat newer channel, Sandlot Cards 0000. Actually, zeros. I guess it's important to make sure there's zeros, not O's. But so Sandlot Cards and all these different components of where my brain went to. Uh, Mangini was saying how many videos he doesn't get a chance to really click on just because the title or the topic, he knows he's not going to want to watch it. And, we all have limited time. You got to pick and choose where you're going to jump to and invest your 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, depending on how long the video is. So totally get that. Trying to think where else I was even going. My gosh, we had Sammy sharing a card that he picked up from Mike Petty, which I pulled a couple cards. I'm going to show you a few cards today. I think that's a component of all this. John was saying how few original contributions or ideas there are. A lot of it feels like it's the same kind of topic. It's a lot of the same theme. It's a lot of responses. It's a lot of the same cards. It's a lot of, and that got me thinking too. And then the last component was Orlando made a comment on my video yesterday. It was just my T206 Ty Cobb share, and that's not necessarily a real novel card. Everyone's seen those. There's nothing super crazy about it. They've just not seen mine because I've never been able to share all four of them at the same time. So that was unique and fun in my world. So where I was kind of brainchild thinking on this was Orlando's comment was watching this made me want to go pull out my Cobbs. And I always say when I share something, when I come up with a video idea, the highest compliment, the coolest response you can really see. And I know John and Rick and Orlando and folks with those massive collections get these comments all the time. But when someone says either, I've never seen that, thank you for sharing, or they get the comment of, just went out looking, checking auction houses, checking eBay, checking, wherever, or even just researching it, wanting to learn about it. Like to either, share some new knowledge or inspire someone to want to either, have a little bit of an inspiration from something you shared or a desire to learn from something you shared is phenomenal. What Orlando said on my video was, I'm going to go pull out my version of those cards. And I think sometimes that's the other side of it, by jumping in and sharing, even if it's something that, maybe other folks see. I do think there's some value in just saying, like, remember, I'm appreciating this card right now. I'm appreciating this style of collect. I'm appreciating this player. I'm appreciating something. And you're like, you know what? I've actually got that. That makes me want to go pull that out, take a look at it, and almost with like new, like, youthful energy. It's, you go someplace 100 times, but you go there with somebody new, all of a sudden it's fresh, it's exciting, they're interested, they're asking questions, they're engaged, they're having more fun than you have in the last 50 visits because it's fresh and new to them. So sometimes those comments when you share something and just say, maybe want to go look, that can go a lot farther than you think. So let me share a few things. I'm going to share this. This is also a good John Mangini PSA get off my lawn topic, but so we can grab the right one. So Sammy shared the 1965 McGregor Willie Mays. Uh, Phenomenal. And I'm not even going to flip it around because the items I'm sharing are too big. I don't think it'll even work very well. So I'm just going to go this way. His looked exactly like this. No, almost. The pose is the same. This is the 1960. So there's a 1960 and a 1965. This, I believe, is the 1960. PSA thinks it's the 1960, and I've had this for a little bit. They put it in the tray table. I'm not too sure why it's in a tray table and not just in a somewhat normal size slab, but it's what they did. Absolutely love that. So I was in auction for that. I think I've shared this before. And a buy it now popped up for an extremely reasonable price. So I ended up with two of them, one within like 24 hours after looking for it for like a year. So weird how that works out. And the other one is, and I've shared this before, I think, also a 1960 McGregor Willie Mays. However, when you look at it, image is the same, size is close, but not quite actually. This should be the same as the 1965. I believe the one Sammy showed looked just like this. And the difference, when you look at them side by side, image is the same, right? Size, I believe the dimensions are slightly different, but take a look at the words below it. So you see one has like 3 lines, one has 1 line. So basically same idea, it's just they spread out the words a little bit. So PSA got it wrong. Aaron still got it right because Aaron wanted to have both of them anyway, and I really don't care. I guess I'll have to put some sticker or something on there. I'm not going to crack it out. I guess I could maybe send it to them and tell them they're wrong. Maybe they'd reslab it for me, but probably not. I'm sure the stress of sending it and all that, I'm not going to worry about it. So I've got both variations, just not according to set registry guidelines. So thankfully, I don't care. The other one, so this is where my brain goes when I watch videos and get inspired, is I'm not sure if Sammy has this one. This is a 1950 to 1970 McGregor. So some of these were issued, these advisory items were issued over a much longer span of time. But I think that image is pretty gosh darn phenomenal, right? And again, if you're not familiar with these, they're all blank backs. In fact, a lot of them this one got a poor grade. I don't know. It almost looks like the paperclip imprint on the back. There's a couple of little holes in it. All right, cool, good. It shows a lot nicer than a one, doesn't it? That was another. That was get off my lawn topic. I will sometimes dig just to see, and it's almost more. I don't consider it criticism. I almost consider it like a flex. When I can find one like that, I'm like, that got a one. Are you serious? It's like buying a car like 20% off because it's used because someone took it on a test drive and they accidentally marked it down as sold. Like that's a home run. It's got like 4 miles on it. There's been one person sitting in it to drive around the lot, and I just got $8,000 off. Like, I'm celebrating that. I'm telling you why I did that because I'm winning. So that's my thought. All right, and then Sandlot cards. I jumped over there. I watched his video. He was talking about second year cards in his most recent video. Really cool channel, really great perspective, and amazing collection for this young man. So definitely jump over there, support him, check out what he's got. He's also shared some. He shared second year, and then he's also shared several player runs. So he's got some impressive rookie cards. He's got a great run of cards. He shared. My feel is it's a lot of like late 60s to 70s kind of stuff. But some 62 tops. I remember seeing that video. I'm just trying to like recall everything off the top of my head. Did some really cool videos on players that aren't in the hall, which I think a lot of us, especially if you're um, trying to more encompass the entire game, you really can't tell the story without some of these amazing other players. So I just had a big pickup where I felt like most everything I got was Hall of Almost In, or Hall of Very Good, or Hall of Cool Story, or something like that. So let me share three more that were inspired by him. So I'm not going to claim that these are second year, but they are players that he's mentioned either in that video or in other videos and done a full player run. But it fits in really well with my Willie Mays McGregor, and that's because all these other companies that were doing sporting goods did a very similar idea. So it's a 1950 to 70. What makes this a little extra, cool slash maybe expensive is 50 to 70. His rookie card was 68. So you weren't getting this in 54 or 61. Like, this has to be at the very tail end. So the production limitation of, distribution, all the things, like Johnny Bench was not there for the full 50 to 70. And I will say, somewhat biased, I mean, that's probably in the top. That's in the Mount Rushmore of Johnny Bench super cool images. Give me 69 tops, give me this. There's maybe a few others I'd put in there. Kellogg's, I think that's really cool, but 76 tops, I don't know. We'll not do that right now. But that's what it does. And that's that inspiration, that thank you for putting out that video, because while I have a 69 tops bench, and I have a pretty good Johnny Bench run, sometimes it's not even a matter of like playing, I've got it too, so what? Sometimes it's just like, that got me thinking of my Johnny Bench, and I have a cool Johnny Bench one I want to share. Or I'm going to dig in and see what else Bench has that might be different, unique, kind of cool. And maybe that's where it leads me for the day. So just wanted to share that. Similar. So that was a Rawlings. Here's another Rawlings. Another player that would be not getting the full 1950 to 1970 run. So Willie Stargell, his rookie would have been like 63. Another evening video. It wasn't even by a card content collector. Sometimes I just end up watching videos on baseball. And they were just going off talking about how amazing Stargell's power was, how many stadiums he had the longest home run record in. And he was penalized by playing in a home ballpark that had, it was like 470 or something like that to dead center. So probably had some doubles along the way that would have been 10 rows back in most stadiums. But I just think these images, and again, I always joke and say old eyes, and maybe I have glasses again. Maybe old eyes isn't a joke, but the reality of just how cool that is. I mean, how enormous that is, how clear that is. And again, it's a 3 if you're a grade looker. It looks perfect, right? If you say no, then we collect differently. To me, that's perfection. Last one. I just got this one. I actually had to check and make sure this wasn't fake. Just in the way it was even presented. I don't know if I've seen this. I think I've seen this pose other places. And the other thing, because I have so many of his, I actually had to check and make sure I didn't have it. So it looked super new to me, but I wasn't even sure. Maybe I already had it, but I did not. So I snagged it. It's another Rawlings advisory staff. Found me a Stan Musial. There's 2 of them. I believe he's kneeling in both, and that's what really threw me off. I was looking at it, and I looked on, I think, eBay, or I Googled maybe the image, and it kept coming up with another image of him kneeling that looked close, but not quite this. But this one I think is labeled as like with glove on ground or something like that. So it seemed as though, from what I was seeing from past sales and evidence, that this is pretty tough. And it seems like all these are somewhat rare, don't move a whole lot, not a lot of them out there. If you look on, even eBay, I always feel like eBay is the gauge of how readily available it is. If there's 6 of them, then not stressing, I can pick that up in a couple months probably. If you don't see any, then you got to watch for a while and see if it's a weird week, or if that's one that maybe comes up every 6 months or 2 years or something crazy like that. So that is it. I've got what I show you: 3 Willie Mazes, a bench, a Stargil, a Musial. That is not a VR, but really just trying to walk through my mindset of everything kind of coming together. Got to see a cool video by Sammy. I got a really um, meaningful. It doesn't take much to be meaningful. A sentence or two sometimes can really impact somebody that took the time to create a video, and it really is. It carries some weight and gives you some motivation, inspiration, and sends you down a different path for the next video too, because you get inspired to maybe look at something different. So thank you to Orlando, John and Rick. I know you guys had stuff blowing up when you were doing it live. I got to watch it recorded last night, so super good. Just discussion and topic evolution in your get off my lawn video. And Sandlot Cards 00. Sandlot Cards, check him out. Really good stuff, and great addition to content and what we do here in our little YouTube space. So that's it for today. I will catch up with you guys on the next one. Take care.